Do you want to relax? Are you having trouble sleeping or focusing? CBD reduces anxiety, chronic pain, seizures, PTSD, depression. Try our CBD gummies or chocolates. You will be very satisfied. Visit cbdcollections.net. cbdcollections.net. cbdcollections.net.
Hi, folks. I'm Chris Daley, and it's just great to be here with you again. And I have the privilege of speaking to great Jamaicans making great impact. And do we have a person like that tonight? We have Michele Ho Lung. She's the author of Sparkle and Shine, Get Your Brilliance Out, at home and at work. Michele loves a challenge and thinking outside the box. She harnesses drive, energy, and passion in helping people to get the result that make them really feel good and achieve real result. And she'll define what real success means in shortly as they explore and clarify their life purpose. To do the interview this evening is my partner in crime, Janice. Janice, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Michele, with pleasure, we have to talk to you. We're really happy to hear from you. So tell us about your Jamaican roots.
Well, first off, Janice and Chris, so nice to be here. I was born in Jamaica in Kingston, actually, by Mona Heights, and I'm the eldest of seven, and my parents, my mother, she really instilled in us to think independently, and I loved the spirit of out of many one people because I look different. I'm Chinese, right? But I really loved how as Jamaicans we didn't care what color people was, right? True? Wasn't that the case?
Amen.
And I just love that because I felt at home. And my grandfather, he sent for my grandmother by a picture, a photo. Oh, that woman looks good. And she came by boat. And my name is really Ho, the last name, but my grandfather's first name was Lung. And I guess coming off the boat, they said, "What's your name?" And he said, Ho Lung. And that's why we have a double name as a last name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in a middle-aged family. We had things good, but my parents worked really hard. And I remember growing up, and there were seven of us. So my father was always looking for money for lunch. And I always used to feel, my goodness, I wish he didn't have to, scramble for money, because we were fed, but, they worked really hard. And everything we did, I really liked the schools, the teachers, the education we got, because that Jamaican education, I think, is one of the best in those schools, right?
If you go to the right schools in Jamaica, you can compete with anyone.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I went to Canada and grade 12, and they were complaining, and I'm going, "That's so easy. Why are you complaining?" Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I realized how much.
No, I'm just saying. I've heard that that kind of conversation with people who went to England too, because of their solid Jamaican education foundation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and the teachers were so, dedicated to teaching us, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ones I had anyway,
You currently live in Canada. What was your family immigration experience like?
Well, we left at the time when everything was going crazy, in the 70s. And we had to leave very fast. It was a time when nobody told anybody when they're going, anywhere they're going, right? And
Mhm.
so I lost a lot. The immigration process was really, I was just uprooted. And then I went into the last year of high school there and just didn't know anybody, right? And I had no
Mhm.
friends, but I took it instead. And I tried to find a job there, and they kept on saying, you need to have Canadian experience. And I'm going, well, if I just came here, how am I going to have Canadian experience if nobody gives me a job or gives me a chance, right? So after about
Mhm.
the fourth or fifth person, I ended up getting a job at the CNE, at the Dairy Queen with this fellow. And then I ended up being his best employee. So,
Wow, that's good. Good
you know,
work ethic.
yes,
Yeah.
but I think it's all about showing who you are, no matter where you're coming from. You just be the best you be, no matter what
Mhm.
difficulties you have. You know what I'm saying?
That was a kind of adjustment you find yourself making as you grew up, right?
Yes, but the nice thing was when I went to Canada, there was Jamaicans there that I knew, a few.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
again,
that's good.
Jamaicans helping Jamaicans out. That's a beautiful
Mhm.
thing about Jamaicans.
Ah, so those were the people, folks who helped you out that shaped who you were and how you accomplished what you did.
Yeah, they give you a sense of still being a part of something, even though it's just a few of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I
Yeah.
think kept me kind of sane in those hours that I really had no clue who all the kids were
But
around in the
basically just
school.
finding yourself.
That's right.
You're such a creative person. Were there certain subjects you did in school that satisfy your thirst for knowledge and life growth?
If sorry, I missed that question.
I would say, based on your resume,
Yes.
you're such a creative person.
Hmm.
Were there
Yeah.
certain subjects that you did in school that satisfy the thirst of knowledge and growth of life?
Well, I loved physics,
Mm,
especially the single slit experiment, where when you sent
okay.
you shot the electron through the single hole, then if you were watching it, it would hit the photographic plate as a dot, and then if you weren't, it would hit it in a waveform.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
that to me was fascinating because it takes you beyond the realm of what you see here as reality and what is there that is possibility,
Ah, yeah.
because that takes us from the physical reality to the quantum,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Yeah.
it,
That's
it brings you the realization that everything you see in front of you isn't necessarily what is in front
what
of you.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, because you had such a rich corporate life spanning in many different niches. What gave you that driving curiosity?
I always wanted to do the best and have things happen right the first time.
Mm.
So I fell in love with process. And I guess it goes back to the challenge I had, even going into Hewlett Packard, because when I got there, I told you before that I had applied for a government job and they told me I worked too fast. So I quit. And then I went to Hewlett
The
Packard.
bureaucracy,
Yeah.
government
Right.
bureaucracy.
And then I got to Hewlett Packard and I was applying for an inventory coordinator job and they told me I was overqualified because I had a
Mm,
degree. So I said, wait a second, time out. I really want
mm,
to work for Hewlett Packard. So I said, I'll give you 2 years and I won't apply for any other jobs. I will give you 2 solid years.
mm-hmm.
And in that process of being at Hewlett Packard, I fell in love with the Hewlett Packard way. And I fell in love with process and total quality management and just getting things done right. So I became by the time I left Hewlett Packard, I was the go-to person for quality and, the IT manager
Yeah.
would see me coming in, he'd head in the other direction.
It's like, we're gonna do that.
No,
And
because I always had work for him to do.
well, that was good. Yeah. But you have so many niches. You have such a diverse. I'm really impressed with your resume. Let me
Well,
tell
thank
you that.
you.
Well, your current you're currently a life coach, right? And how did you find yourself in this career path, which led on to your book, Sparkle?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, my first thing, the thing that drives me is I want to help people. The reason why I love quality is because setting up processes properly so that things don't fall through the cracks. Well, what that does for people at work, they have less stress, which means they are happier and they can relax more at work and get what the work is that they really need to get done. So
Yeah.
that's the first driving force. And then the other part is early in my Hewlett Packard career, they introduced me to Kepner Trago processes, decision making processes. And I actually became a certified or qualified facilitator for teaching their 3-day workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, you teach someone how to think better, properly, with all the, going from decision making to the situation analysis and doing the potential problem and opportunity thinking, all of that, and the problem solving on top. When you teach someone how to think, then they can make their lives totally different, and
Mm-hmm.
then they can make the world a better place.
That's
Because
it.
I love making people smile. I love making people feel better. And
Okay, and then the key word is to make people smile, and they sparkle. Your book,
right,
which is the
right. And they
title
feel
of your
better.
book,
Yeah,
it feels
yeah.
better. This book was an accomplishment as an adult. What made motivated this creation? Because you created quite a few things, but this book and the life coaching, how did you get to that?
Well, my husband for many years had said, Michelle, you need to write a book about quality. And I said, what do I know about quality? Everybody knows what I know. And the thing is, I express things in a different way. So Sparkle and Shine came about because I wanted to get my help people in the world. And this is before COVID, but the timing was impeccable because more
Yeah,
than ever now, people need my book. What's in it?
yeah,
And so I wanted to put something in there with my healing information, what I have to share on that too.
your gifts and healing. And
Yes.
what's really good about this book, it was an easy read, it was a fast read, but not only was it a fast read, for me, each chapter was applicable to me, and you had some very one of your other talents is that you're an artist, so each chapter has particular artwork that's from you.
Well,
That's
yes, you know how the book got written. I was trying to write it for probably over a year and it just wasn't flowing. And then one night I got about 11 o'clock at night, I started to draw on 4 by 4 pieces of canvas paper. Just do with
mm-hmm,
I had a white paint, acrylic paint, like real good paint, quality paint, plus acrylic black ink and a paintbrush, little paintbrush and a little pen nib, right? The drop in the paint nib. And I started to just draw and write.
mm-hmm.
And I did that for 48 hours straight. No
Wow.
sleep,
You were drinking a lot of coffee?
no sleep. I don't even remember if I really ate anything. I just did it straight, just in front of in my sitting on the floor in my living room, and I just drew for 48 hours straight, one after the other.
Yeah.
And that's how the book got written because all those diagrams, what I did with those diagrams is I spread them out and I put them up on a like the music sheet holders and I kind of clipped
Yeah.
them on and then I
Mm-hmm.
moved it around and then I positioned it and then from there once I had those set I started writing the book and
That's
that's what
so the
the book was written in
visual,
like a month.
yeah. So the visuals inspired you to do the physical writing. So no writer's block.
That's right. And the thing is actually the diagrams in the book, they're not just diagrams
Mm-hmm.
because they have in many instances more than what's written in the book.
Ah, let's see. Yeah, your
And there's
work has
energy. It's energy infused, so you can actually feel the energy if you connect with it.
the vibes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, everything is and as an artist, I think artists pick up on the energy more than say the lay person, and I think they having the ability to tap into that energy, that is what gives them the product, whether it's music or a visual thing, or even when we were talking earlier about physics, you're seeing more than what is actually there. So it all where it comes to full circle, your
Yes.
work, it was so well received with many, many testimonials. Were there any testimonial that most impacted you?
Well, there was one, and this was by a retired teacher, and she actually did the preview of my book. She wrote, when I finished the book, I gave it to her, and she said, this book to me should be made into each chapter into a workshop, because there is so much in this book that could inform others and could help others. So that's what I will be doing in the
Oh,
future.
nice.
Is
So,
I'll have a membership and walk people through the process. Plus, they'll get Sparkle on the way. So it'll be a Facebook group based membership.
so we'll
And
have to invite you back, and then you can tell us more about that when that's all been fleshed out. Sounds like
sure,
a
that
good.
would be wonderful. My
Yeah,
honor and my privilege and my pleasure.
yeah, because this book is so transformational.
Well,
One may
thank you.
need accountable to assure success. What's your wisdom regarding accountability?
Well, accountability goes in many different ways. We're accountable to ourselves and to others, but
Mm-hmm.
we have to be held accountable by someone. If we want to make real progress, we need to
Mm-hmm.
be held accountable by somebody we want to give that that position or that role to. Because if once you have accountability with someone, they keep you moving forward faster than you could
Yes.
ever move forward on your own steam.
Kind of like a parent guiding their children
Well,
into a
more so than a parent,
direction.
because their accountability has to be with someone who knows more than you do, who is
Mm-hmm.
more an expert than you do, who has done it before, who is your mentor.
Ah,
And I have a mentor, and I am also a mentor to many, right? So it's more important that you have someone who is there that can guide you and save you the trial and error of figuring
mm,
it out, who is only going to give you what works and what doesn't, and leave out what doesn't work.
yeah. Well,
Right. So
I just.
in my book, if I can digress to that, someone said to me, don't tell people how good my book is, because then they won't need to come to me, right? But the book is if you look at the book, it has very quick steps, very simple steps, and it looks simple, but it
Mm-hmm.
isn't. And
Mm-hmm.
I've cut out all this stuff. And another good quote, if you'll allow me to, can I share that one with you?
Yeah.
This was from an engineer, and he says, I don't watch TV. I am an avid reader. And I have to say that your book, I would have to read 10 books and all different subjects to get what is in your book. And the difference is that in all those other books, they're telling you things, but it's theory, and they're trying to convince you with the validation that they're telling you is correct. He says your book gives you how to do it and only what you need to do. And
Mm.
when I'm stuck, I go to your book and I see what I'm missing.
So basically, you trim the fat and just give the meat, right?
Precisely. And it's from
Yeah.
personal life right through to ISO 9001 and business thinking, right? Because my corporate, I dissected how I did that one. I got a company ISO 9000 certified in 1 year, when it takes a team 2 years to do that easily. And I did that
Mm.
myself for a company in the oil and gas industry in 1 year. And I dissected, that plus being a mom of three, and, having a family and raising three lovely young adults now. We're all professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And I dissected how I have, navigated my life. And it's all in there, from relationships to health to purpose to mission to, how do you keep your life in order and balanced, and how do you keep on moving the next step when things aren't really working the way you want it to be working.
Well, I definitely enjoyed your read. this read. So where can one find your fine work?
Okay, so you can go to my website, which is www Michele MICHELEHOLUNG.com. And the other thing is, for any of your listeners, the first 10 people, I'd like to gift this because it's Christmas time. The first 10 people who send me an email that they enjoyed this podcast, and they want to find out more, I will gift them a call, 15-minute call with me, and they email me, and I will send them the calendar link so they can easily book a time with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, if for those who don't get through on the 10 set, limit, I will also send those people my ebook, which is called the 4 Steps to be CEO of You. And it's a little
Oh,
workbook. It's really 10 pages, tiny,
mm-hmm.
but it has a wealth of steps in there that will help people to shift their thinking.
So basically, that would supplement the book. They do your workbook and they read your book, and they're going to have a really successful year in 2022, right?
For sure. And if they
So
want,
what
they can join the Facebook group, right?
and the Facebook group. So what other wisdom can we expect from your teaching in the near future?
Well, I guess it's just to stay tuned. They can sign up on my website, or just send me an email, and I'll put them on my list if they wish. And I'll be talking about, how do you get instant clarity? How do
Mm-hmm.
you get past all of this stuff that's happening right now? A lot of people are going through grief and through despair and
Mm-hmm.
depression and all of this stuff. And what if you could wave a magic wand and be through that and just have clarity on what you need to do, what you want to do, what your dreams are and your purpose, and have a way of moving in that direction in an instant? And that's what I bring to the world with my gift of sparkle.
Yeah. Well, we're
And they
gonna
can find out
try.
more on my website.
Yes. And any closing thoughts for our audience?
Yes, I'd like to just challenge everyone to focus on the positive things, what they want, not what is happening that they don't like, what is happening. Tune off of the news. The news is just, it does nothing but depress me. So I very rarely even look at it
Yes.
because,
Yes.
so I want to challenge people to just go back to like the Jamaican or motto. It said, out of many, one people. When I
Mm-hmm.
grew up to when I left Jamaica, I never considered what color someone's skin was. Everybody was the same. I just saw their heart.
Well,
Connect
that.
to the heart. You know, Forget about religion. Talk about spirituality, which is one of my favorite quotes is do unto others what you would like them to do unto you.
Quite true.
Right?
Quite true.
Treat people the way you want to be treated, and live your
Exactly.
life where you can. It doesn't matter who is looking on it. They wouldn't find anything because all you're doing is goodness with
Yes.
integrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
Integrity is everything. And we
right,
need to understand that. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you look like outside, it's what's on the inside. And we
yes.
really appreciate you sparkling our night with your wonderful
And the
book.
other thing is to
And
be proud of being Jamaican and be proud, because I love meeting Jamaicans when I travel
yes. And
because
we're everywhere,
they're
literally.
everywhere, and we give each other special treatment. I mean, it's just really
Yeah.
fun.
You hear the little accent, and you're like, wait. Is that an accent? At least in my job,
Yes,
she
yes.
came in and I said, and she we I think, is that an accent I hear? And she said, yeah. I said, where are you? And then
Yeah.
yeah, there is some truth into that. Giving each other a little on the
Yeah, and
side,
then just promote the good, and as I said, just keep focused. Even if you are in pain, I'll give you a hint. Focus on like Chris, you mentioned you had a ankle. Focus on the one that's feeling good, and imagine your other foot, your other ankle feeling just as good. And you know what? With a little sparkle, it might just be fine when you get up today.
That's true. We love that. We love, and in ending our wonderful conversation, such a positive
And that's in my
note.
book too, on the
Yes.
health part. Think about what it is you want and move in that direction. Move, do what makes sense.
Yeah, I
And
think if that's yeah, I
and
think
know you
that's
have the power in you to direct your health, but it's just that people told us that we couldn't. So start
right.
believing that you have control over your body.
Mm-hmm. Quite true. So
Because I
to
have
learn
stories
more,
in my book.
hmm yeah, it's funny. So to learn more about Jamaican Diaspora, visit JamaicanDiaspora.com. To learn more about Chris Daley, visit ChrisDaley360.com. Michele, give them your website one more time.
It's www.micheleholung.com.
Nice, nice. Okay, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye now.
Thank you.